everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Turnips to Tangerines. And today we are going to make another quick bread, and it's called Dutch apple bread. And let's get started right away, because this is a really good recipe and a great way to use apples this time of year. And what I did here is I took a 9x5 loaf pan and I lined it with parchment paper, and I just lightly greased it with a little bit of shortening. So I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to start in right away on our bread, because there's we're going to frost this too. We're going to put a light drizzle of a vanilla glaze on it when it's done. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix together our dry ingredients, which are 2 cups of flour, which I have right here. 2 cups of flour. And we have half a teaspoon of salt. And we have a teaspoon of baking powder. And we're just going to put that in there. And we're just going to lightly mix that up. Whoa. And set it aside. And then we are going to take our bigger bowl here. And what do we got in there? Nothing? Okay. And then we're going to take our half a cup of softened butter, which is 1 stick of butter. And we are going to add 1 cup of granulated sugar. And we're going to take our 2 eggs. Whoop, stuck on here. Our 2 eggs. I'm going to add that. And we're going to lightly mix that together. Cream it together. And then we're just going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to just continue to beat this for a little longer. And we're going to very slowly add our half a cup of milk. We're just going to lightly add it in like that. And then we are going to slowly add our flour. And I'm just going to add a little at a time, and I'm just going to kind of mix it in slowly. Very slow. just going to, I'm not going to incorporate all the flour as you can see here because we have to add our apples. So that'll kind of coat the apples and get them all mixed in nicely. And what we have here is I have 2 cups, cup and a half to 2 cups. I prefer a little bit more apples than most recipes call for, or I always add an extra, at least a half a cup of any kind of fruit, usually up to even a cup, because I like a lot of fruit in my, you know, bars, bread, pies, you know, whatever you're making with fresh fruit. And these are just Honeycrisp apples, and there's 2 of them in here that I peeled and just diced, not real small, but not real large either. So I'm going to toss these in there. And that's going to get my spoon that I forgot here. I hope it's in here, which of course it isn't. So, just going to fold this lightly in here. And mix that around real good. Nice and appley. That'll look like a nice apples. Perfect time of year for this. It's apple season here in Wisconsin. It's the middle of September, and now is the time to get apples. And next month also. And you can go to any farm stand, any farmer's market, any farm stand, and you can find apples, and they're usually very inexpensive, and they're very, very good because they're fresh. So, and now we're going to pour our batter in our pan, and it is very thick. So you might be thinking, oh boy, but it is a very thick batter. Now, there we go. Just gonna go like that. A little mess, but that's perfectly okay. I'm just going to lightly just spread it around like this as best we can. And now we're going to make, after this, we're going to make our topping for our bread. Oh, that tastes good. There, ooh. Nice flavor. Nice buttery flavor. Okay, let's do this finger. Okay. There we go. I'm going to quickly grab a paper towel and wipe my hands off. Or my finger. And then we're going to kind of give it a little shake like I usually do here. And we're going to set this aside just for a second. And we're going to grab our other bowl. And this calls for, let me see here. This calls for 5 tablespoons of cold butter. So, get my butter out of my refrigerator. It's freezing cold. You don't want it cold because you want to be able to crumble it on top. And then we're going to mix in a 1/3 cup of flour. And we have 2 tablespoons of white sugar, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and we're making a streusel topping. And we have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. You're probably wondering where the spice was. Well, there it is. And we're going to take our, that's cold, all right. Take our little pastry blender, and we're going to cut this all together. There. Oh, yeah, it's nice and Things tend to bend sometimes when my butter is really cold. You could also use your hands if you wanted to, but that tends to melt your butter a little bit, which I don't think that's such a bad thing sometimes on here. But just keep working with it and working with it, and you'll get it. Like I said, you just want to make a nice crumbling topping to crumble on top of your bread. There. There we go. Kind of do this number. I think I'm going to just use one hand here and kind of just rub the butter in a little bit because it is really cold. And we'll just rub it in like that. And you have a nice topping here of butter and cinnamon, flour, brown sugar, and sugar. And then I'm going to grab my pan with my bread batter and my apples, and I'm going to take this and I'm just going to sprinkle this on top here like this. This is almost, I guess you could say, like a dessert bread. But it is good. It is called Dutch apple bread. Keep adding it on until it's all done. I'm just going to kind of just lightly pat it down there and quickly just kind of do this number. Get it all in there nice and kind of do that. Yep, and you sprinkle over it, and I'm just going to lightly pat it down a little bit. And this is going to go into a 350-degree oven. Give it a little shake here. Ooh, there we go. I'm going to move this butter around a little bit. There we go. Kind of distribute it a little evenly. And this is going to go in a 350-degree oven. And it's going to bake for 50 to 60 minutes. And I will check it about the 50-minute mark. I like to check the bread about 10 minutes earlier than its actual time to be done. And if it needs 5 more minutes, I'll give it another 5 minutes. Needs 10 minutes, I'll give it another 10. So here we go. I'm going to put it in the oven and we'll take it out shortly and we'll let you see what it looks like. Our Dutch apple bread is now out of the oven, and I let it cool in the pan until it was completely cool, and I took it out. I took off the bottom parchment paper that I had put on in the pan, and now I'm going to mix together our icing ingredients, which consist of a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon or about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of milk, depending how you like your glaze, and a tablespoon of melted butter, and a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm going to just put this all in here. We're going to whisk it up good. It smells really, really, really good. It's got like a little bit of a crunchy top on here. And I'm going to stir this up real good. And whisk it up. Whoop, I'm having a little problem with my camera angle today. There we go. There. And I'm going to that there. I have my cooling rack and my bread on top of some wax paper here so I don't make a total mess. And I'm just going to drizzle this back and forth over our bread and just let it drizzle down. And let it sit up nice. Like I said, the bread is cold, or not cold, but it's definitely cool. I probably left it in the pan to cool, I'd say a little over an hour. Now I'm putting on glaze, which is a simple glaze. Whoa. Got my fan on and my paper's blowing around. And we're just gonna, there, let that ooze off a little bit. And that's about it. That should be it. We're just gonna let it all drizzle down really good. But I can tell you right now, this smells excellent. And I can't wait to actually cut a piece and give it a try. And that I will do in 1 second here. I'm just gonna let it get a little down there. Ooh, yum. Take a real small bite so we can see the inside of that. Let's see how that looks. Okay, let me go get a knife. Larry, no. Oh, Lord. Just cutting that out. And I'm just going to cut this really nicely here. Oh, look at that. This is the inside of the cake, or the bread. But I suppose you could call it a cake because it certainly looks like one. And we have the chunks of apple. We have the nice strudel topping that formed a real nice hard shell. And we have our frosting on there. So yes, I'm going to take a bite. Oh my God, that's good. That's good. That is excellent. I hope you give it a try, because I know you're going to love it. It's really good. Have a good day now. Bye-bye.